We are promoted to the Premier League! Welcome to the 12th season review of Regen Rovers. It's episode 119 in the series, and today is a glorious day. We, little old Regen Rovers from Reigate, have finally been promoted to the top tier of English football by winning the championship, in some style as well I must add. 5 points clear of Sunderland and Burnley there. It was a pretty easy season, if I'm honest. We just romped to the league title. There wasn't too many difficulties. The last third of the season we were just fantastic in overtaking Sunderland, Aston Villa, Burnley, those sort of teams that were towards the top of the table for most of the season. They all had pretty awful ends to the season, remember. So we did actually lose a few games, as you can see here towards the end, but it was enough. It really didn't matter in the end. It didn't matter that we lost 2-1 on the last day of the season against Exeter, because we were already champions. If you missed the last episode, I did put out an old school team against Exeter. Sivs Ellis, Danny Bye, Patrick Dibber, Jack Young, they all played. And Dr. Jones came off the bench, which was a highlight of mine, I must say. Although it was a disappointing day in the end. I'm sure they partied all night long down in the southwest. I think they came back the next morning. Jack Young, nowhere to be found. He had to make his own way back because I think he ended up in a field full of sheep. But not to worry, he's back in Reigate now. And we're ready for this season review. As usual, we'll have a look at the individual player performances, and we'll have a look at some of the league tables as well. But first of all, let's have a look at this. Overall best 11. It has changed slightly since last season. Jonathan Edwards has now made it into the best team. I don't think he's in the best 11 yet. He's on the bench though. But you can see Sivs Ellis is still the greatest ever goalkeeper that the club has ever had, according to the game. He might be leaving at the end of the season. He did get that one appearance at the end of the season, which I'll be pleased about. But he is refusing to talk to me because he's unhappy. He's not first team player anymore. He wants to be a first team player at maybe a League 1 team, League 2 team, possibly. We'll see. If I can re-sign him, if he does eventually agree to sign a contract, then I will, because he is a legend of the series just as much as Jack Young is, really. Maybe Jack Young is more of a legend, but you know what I mean. At least Sivs Ellis is up there in that top bracket of legends. Stephen Dean, Danny Bye, Reece Walker and Charlie Lofts make up the back four. A bit weird to see Charlie Lofts as a left back. Reece Walker, he was out on loan this season, remember, at Coventry City. Played 28 league games, 6.64 average rating, not the best, and that was in League 2. So don't know what's going to happen to him. He's played a huge number of games for the club, 301 appearances, 323 for Danny Bye. By the way, I don't know how accurate this is, because Jack Young, according to this, is still stuck on 84 goals. And he was on the last best 11 thing that we did. And I've added up his goals, and he's definitely scored more than 84 goals. In fact, he scored 85 league goals, as you can see here, plus cup goals. So I think he's got about 89 goals in all competitions for us. So this is not right. It's not 100% accurate, and I don't know if that's the case for all of these other players as well. Spencer Drury is the all-time goal scorer for the club. According to this, he's got 135 goals in 340 games for the club. He's also the all-time leading league appearance player, and also most appearances in all competitions now. 340 appearances for the club. It's been around a long time, as good old Spencer Drury. So then, player of the year, it's not Danny Bye. It is another centre-back. It's Jonathan Edwards, 46%. He deserved that. He had a cracking season this year. He really did. He's also managed to pick up a Welsh cap over the last season. 7.3 average rating in the league. He scored 4 goals as well. 7 man of the match awards in the league. 1 in the cup as well. He was just so important to us this season. He's been here for 4 years now. Didn't play in the first season, but since then he's got better and better. Went out on loan to Maidstone in the last 3 seasons. Especially the last 2 seasons, has been a very important player. Will he be good enough for the Premier League? Looking at his attributes, no, surely not, because he's got 10 on marking, Positioning's okay, 12, heading's okay, 12, tackling's good, and he's very good physically apart from stamina. But surely he's not good enough for the Premier League. But then again, we've said that every single year about our players in every single division. We think they're not good enough, but they've done it. They've done the job, and I don't understand how we have managed to win the championship this season, and it's been relatively easy. It's bizarre. I can't explain it. It must be the tactic. That must be an element to it, but also the consistency of having me in charge for 12 years. I suppose that helps. Also, a consistent team generally. Enrico Lorenzini finished second, 29%. He didn't have a particularly good year this year, did he? Scoring 14 goals, 15 in all competitions, 11 assists. I suppose he contributed 26 goals to the team, which is it's great, really, I suppose, and a decent average rating. But there were times when he did let the team down a little bit this season. But Stephen Dean, third place, he did have a good season. I'd probably put Nico Schultz up there as well as an option. He scored the goal of the season. I think I remember this one. It was an unbelievable strike. And it was his first ever goal for the club. Now, Nico Schultz is someone who I do believe does have the quality to be a Premier League player. What a goal that was. Stupendous from him. He can step up, I think. He's the only player that's worth a decent amount of money. And he'll just stay in that central midfield position, win the ball back for us, play it simply. He's physically very good. He can run around all day long, and he's decent pace as well. The only problem is he picks up so many yellow cards. I think it's this tactic, though. This position is the one that gets him those yellow cards, because he's the most defensive player in the second half of the pitch, essentially. He's the only one really defending out of all of these players, and it does mean he picks up quite a few yellow cards. Signing of the season was our Albanian Emiliano Mehmeti, who did okay actually. Not amazing average rating, got a couple assists, didn't manage to score. But he does look a good player. He could possibly develop into being a player, actually. Apparently only has the potential to be a League One player. How have we, I don't understand, how have we won the championship with this team? It really makes no sense. I don't understand. Team of the year, Fuat Kachar in goal, but unfortunately we're going to be losing him. Dean, Edwards, Rhodes, Yahya, Schultz, Garber, JCG, Hayne, Drury and Lorenzini. Game of the season, 3-0 win against Brighton. Loss of the season, 4-1 loss against Bolton Wanderers. 100% average attendance. We filled the stadium every single game. What is going to happen to the stadium though? Obviously we have been expanding it recently. It's meant to be Expand Stadium in progress. It's going to be finishing. Oh, it's finishing early now in December this year. Originally it was going to be next year, but it's not going to be expanded enough. We need to meet Premier League standards. Will we have to play at another club, maybe Crystal Palace, somewhere like that? Youth facilities are being improved, but they're still going to be probably below average. We're going to have a lot more money to spend next year. £18 million, £374,000 wage budget, which is treble what we're paying at the moment. So we have the ability to change this team drastically. But what's the point in changing a winning team? I can add the odd quality player to this team. I think one really good striker would do us a lot of good, and probably improve the centre-backs. I like Jonathan Edwards. I like Lawrence Rhodes. I like Rose because he's a young English under-19 international with potential to be a good player. Potential to be a championship player, which isn't that great, but maybe I should buy two really good quality centre-backs. Goalkeeper-wise, I have to decide if Koch should be our main man, but trading's not going great for him. Apparently, Fuat Kachar, Kachar means flee in Turkish. So someone pointed out that he's fleeing to Kilmarnock, which is quite nice. Sibzelis obviously is going to be, Sibzelis might be leaving, but we don't know yet. Oh, it's a difficult conundrum. I have to decide what is best for the team. What should we do? Should we improve the squad drastically? I might not be able to. Who will want to come to Regen Rovers expected to finish bottom of the league? I don't know. And now I need to do the team meeting. I'm going to say this one. With the right additions to the squad, we can avoid the drop. That is the right thing to say. 3 players, Nico Schultz, Brad Howden, Hans Hayne, are excited that we'll be having some new faces. It's going to be tough. It's going to be the toughest season of the series, apart from probably that first season. I think that nothing can ever beat that first season. Oh, here we go. I didn't spot this. Stadium expansion. The board have announced plans to enlarge the stadium by 9,644 seats, including some installed in parts of the standing areas, because you can't have standing areas in the Premier League at the moment in real life. So it's going to cost £12.98 million. We've loaned that. Then again, that is nothing compared to the TV money we will get in. It's only going to take 7 months to complete as well, which is incredible. We're going to be playing, what is this? The Chu Chung Pong Park. Why is QPR Stadium called that? It's not called that in real life, is it? Maybe it is, but that's quite funny. Anyway, we're ground sharing with QPR, but it's only going to take 7 months to complete. That is incredible. We must be getting some amazing builders from around the world to build that. No way would the English be able to build it that good and that quickly. So the old expansion is now gone. It was originally, we were going to expand it by about 1,000 seats, and it was going to take until September 2029. Suddenly, we're expanding it by 9,000 seats, and it's only going to take until December 2000. No, November. Sorry, 2000. No, it is December. December 2028. That makes no sense. But anyway, QPR, we're coming to West London, and we're upgrading the youth facilities at the same time. I thought we were already going to upgrade them. Anyway, and we've been granted an improved youth category rating as well. So everything's being raised because it needs to be, doesn't it? Let's try and improve the training facilities. Current facilities are good enough. No way. Ah, brilliant. I've said, I just said we really need to do this. Brilliant. They're going to upgrade the training facilities as well. They need to be upgraded. £750,000. We're going to be in a hell of a lot of debt after this, aren't we? Suddenly we've lost all our money. But it doesn't matter. We need to improve the facilities. This is the time to improve them. Because at the moment we've only got below average training facilities, so that's going to be improved. Poor youth facilities will be improved to probably average. Youth level is now 4, whatever that means. This planned expansion of 1,650 seats from the terrace conversion is still going ahead, but they're also adding 7,994 additional seats for a total of 9,644 new seats. So we should have we're going to have a 12,500 seater capacity, which is the lowest you can have in the English Premier League. Let's analyse the squad then in our promotion season. How did the players perform? So the player that made the most appearances was Jonathan Edwards, 52 games. He started every single one of those 52 games. I don't know how many games he missed out in total. Lorenzini also appeared in 50 games. Stephen Dean appeared in 49, and Fuat Kachar appeared in 48. In fact, Hans Hayne appeared in 51. Goals-wise, top goal scorer was the legend that is Spencer Drury. Had a little bit of a dry spell at the end of the season, but he scored 23 goals this season. Really good season for him. 15 for Lorenzini. Next up was Francis Arthur Owusu, and Hans Hayne ended up with 7. Assist-wise, Lorenzini was top. JCG, Pascual and Hans Hayne all got 6 assists, and Yahya and Spencer Drury got 5 each. Man of the match-wise, Edwards led the way with 8. He also destroyed everyone else's average rating. 7.3 from him. Stephen Dean was next best. Then Patrick Dibber in only the 6 appearances he made. And Nico Schultz with 7.04. And Lorenzini was the other player that managed to get to a 7. Not so great from players like McGuigan. Giordano, I think I have to let him go. He wasn't very good this season. I'm a little bit reluctant because maybe he's a player that would be useful in the Premier League. But looking at this, I mean, I've just been playing my West Ham save. And comparing the players, it's ridiculous, the difference. How on earth are we going to stay up? I don't know. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to do our best. Schultz is worth the most money, as you can see. That Lorenzini's worth 4.8 million. Hans Hayne, Stephen Dean, Pascual, all worth over 3 million as well. If we look at the under-23s, top goal scorer, Arthur Owusu, 37 goals. McGuigan also had a good year, as did Jack Young. But Arthur Owusu was just ridiculous at this level. McGuigan actually ended up with a higher average rating, though, strangely enough. Players, let's have a look at the players out on loan. So, Eamon Lynch this season was out on loan at Wigan Athletic in League One. He played well in the 18 appearances he made. did really well for them, but everything's going down, and I can't see him ever being good enough for the first team, especially now that we're in the Premier League. Same with Luciano. He does have potential here, but he's 23 years old now, so he's not reached that potential. He's been on loan at Cork City. Only played 16 games in all competitions. Okay average rating. Well, pretty good average rating, but only scored 1 goal and 2 assists. Nick Austin was on loan at Colchester United, where he did alright. Only conceded 30 goals, 34 in all competitions. Colchester United finished down in 10th place. He could be backup keeper next year for us. He might have to be if Sivzelis goes as well. And to be honest, he is better than Sivzelis anyway. Lee Lovegrove was on loan at Telford. You know, he's not going to be a player for the future, is he? I kind of thought he would be at one point, but he's 21 years old now. Potential to be a championship right back, but he's not really done anything. Same with Stuart Jenkins. He's disappointed me. I had high hopes for him, but he's done nothing. Reece Walker, we've already looked at him. Johnny Collins, another player I thought could be a decent central midfielder for us, but no, he's not been good enough at all. Chen Jiang, our Chinese player, he did okay. He did very well actually on loan at Barnet. 15 appearances in the second half of the season. 1 goal, 3 assists. Very good average rating. Don't know if he's ever going to be good enough for the first team, but hopefully bring in some Chinese money. Gerard Finlay, I've had him a while now, and he's always had a good current ability, but he's never really done much. He had an awful average rating this year for Portsmouth in League One. He scored 3 goals and got 4 assists in all competitions, but his average rating was shocking. Phil Jenkins-Flanagan, central midfielder, another player, terrible average rating out on loan at Forest Green this season. This player I do have high hopes for, Dmitry Petrov. If we can get a work permit for him, then he could be an important player next season. He did well at Lugo in the Segunda Division, 7.09 average rating, 7 assists. Didn't manage to get a goal, but I do like the look of him. He's only 20 years old. He's got 20 caps for Belarus. Hopefully we can get a bloody work permit for him, because we're struggling to do so. The board, you know, they're going to be happy with me, aren't they? I'm untouchable. I just have to be, don't I? This is my profile. I haven't showed this for a while. I think I forgot to show it last season. So I have improved. I do have the top coaching badge now, Continental Pro License. My reputation's definitely increased, 3.5 stars these days. I'm a good technical and mental coach, as you can see. I'm good at motivating as well, which is always useful. But look at the career stats now. We've played 629 games in this series now. That is a huge figure. We've won 266, drawn 213 and lost 150. Good goal difference, 138. And a win percentage of 42%, which is not bad at all. Relationships, the guys that have good opinion of me. Cristiano Ronaldo, who I had a bit of a mini rivalry with at one point. He's still manager of Newcastle these days. Players guys that don't like me. Why does Carlos Queiroz not like me? I'm not going to continue until the end of the playoffs in this episode, because I want to have as much time as possible preparing for the Premier League, and I don't want to be distracted by the fact I want to continue until the playoffs have been played and then ignore everything else. So I'm just going to show all the league tables as they are right now. The Premier League hasn't finished yet. In fact, when's the last Premier League game? Maybe I'll continue till the weekend at the very least. Assume it'd be at the weekend. We'll continue till the weekend and then decide. Who was your player of the series then, guys? I always ask this question, but I've forgotten to do so up until this point. Put in the comment section below, who is your player of the season? Also, let me know where I need to improve the team. Or do I need to improve the team? Should I just roll with this? I know there's some people out there that will say, play Jack Young up front in the Premier League. But remember, the aim next year is to get to survive the Premier League. It's going to be a completely different beast, surely. I thought the Championship would be, but we've had 2 very successful campaigns in this division. But next season, it's going to be more difficult. It must be. We can't breeze through the Premier League, surely. We've avoided a tax bill. That's always pleasing to see. And this is our commercial summary. I always find this interesting to see the most popular shirts amongst the fans. We sold 3,661 shirts this year. Lorenzini was most popular again. Hans Hayne, Edwards, Drury and Dean up there. Jack Young not on there, I'm afraid. Sponsorship money went up, so did corporate and hospitality, competition prize money and matchday commercial and retail. Broadcast revenue is the only one that went down. Let's have a look at the league tables then, but just after seeing this, what's JCG want? He wants an improved contract, that's fine. I mean, we're going up to the Premier League, I guess that he kind of deserves something, doesn't he? Anyway, Premier League then, Chelsea won the title. I'm quite pleased at the fact Leicester went down instead of Derby. I kind of think we have more chance against Derby than Leicester, but maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Derby's going to thrash us next year now. But Leicester, Norwich and Bristol City relegated. West Ham and Everton very close to the relegation zone. In fact, a lot of teams finished on 40 or less points, as you can see there. Cardiff City did really well, as did QPR. So we're sharing with a Premier League team for the first half of next season. So the fixtures are going to be a little bit muddled up there, as they have to work out that QPR and Regen Rovers will be playing in the same stadium. Championship, we know what happened. We were the winners. Sunderland also went up. It's between Burnley, Stoke, Wolves and Aston Villa in the playoffs. Bradford, Exeter and Peterborough relegated. League One was won by Leeds United. They went straight back up with Brentford. Doncaster, Crawley, Mansfield and Birmingham relegated. League 2 was won by Carlisle United, with Notts County and Chesterfield also going up. Barrow and Stockport County relegated. National League was won by Crewe Alexandra, going back up to the Football League, with Wrexham going up. Dagenham and Redbridge, Gateshead, Eastleigh and Dartford relegated. National League North run by Bradford, Park Avenue, Nuneaton Town going up, Harrogate, Tamworth, Macclesfield going down, and the National League South was won by Staines Town, with Bromley going up via the playoffs. What's happened to Chelmsford City? Where are they? Oh, they've been moved up to the National League North without me realising. That is also very weird, seeing them in the National League North. The problem is that, obviously, geography-wise, if there's not enough teams from the northern section to make up the 22 teams in here, they have to delve into the southern reaches, don't they? I mean, Chelmsford is in mid-Essex. If you look on a map, it's very south compared to most of the country. So that's why I say it was, when I found it strange that Braintree were in this division, and we've seen St Albans in this division as well, I think. It's odd, because I see them as very southern teams, and people that live in the north will see them as very, very southern teams. So it is quite strange to see them. Anyway, that's irrelevant. It doesn't make any difference to us. I think we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for your support over this 12th season of Regen Rovers. By the way, we will be changing the shirts next season. I've had someone send in some new designs, and I might delve into the archives for a few other options. So that will be on Twitter. You can vote for your player of the season on Twitter, and also, we'll do votes for new shirts. I have to decide what to do about logos. We have had a logo sent in, but that will be decided over this next season. We'll do a poll first of all to decide if you want to change the logo, and if we do change it, we'll change it if we survive our first season in the Premier League. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and come up with some Premier League, a logo to celebrate being in the Premier League and then get relegated. So we'll wait to see if we survive next season. But it's going to be a challenge, but I have every trust in these players and in myself that we can stay up. It's going to be incredibly, incredibly tough. But Regen Rovers, we're fighters, aren't we? We can do this. Until next time, guys, enjoy Football Manager 2017. Have a great day, and I'll see you very soon.